Hey everyone, this is Evie with Banded, and I am so psyched to have you guys here, everybody. This is two-thirds of Achilles Heel, one of my favorite up and rising bands from the UK. I'm a little bit nervous because this is my first interview, but guys, I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Good to be here.
It is very good to be here.
I'm so excited to ask you guys some questions and just talk to you about your influences and your music and your up and coming and just everything that we can fit into a short little time slot. So I'm really thrilled to have you guys here. Why don't we start by introducing yourselves and telling the listeners a little bit more about you?
Yeah, I'll start there. So, my name's Bryn. I'm the guitarist and lead vocalist and kind of manager, business guy from the band. I've been playing music for maybe like 4 or 5 years now. Just I've loved it ever since, and I'm really enjoying the band.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm Josh, and I'm the bass player of the band. I'm also way cooler than Bryn.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and yeah, I guess I I sort of do along with Jordan, our drummer, who isn't here. I also do any like photography or anything like that for album covers and stuff.
That's epic. I'm really glad to hear that because I've seen some of your album art and like your photo shoots you guys have done. I've been like, dang, that's fire. Who does their photos?
It's either me or Jordan.
Yeah, it's good
That's
because
awesome.
we've got Josh's he's an old media student, and Jordan's photography.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
so it's good to have him on the team.
Sweet. Sweet. Yeah, we missed Jordan today. He couldn't be here, unfortunately, but I'm really happy to be talking to you guys. And at the end, I'll have you guys able to like plug your social media and everything so the listeners can check you guys out. But tell me a little bit more about like how you guys formed and came together. I want to hear more about the history of the band.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, Josh and me have known each other since we were like 2 years old because we're actually second cousins.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think our
yeah.
dads are
No,
cousins.
we're
So
like we grew up together. And we
unfortunately,
unfortunately, yeah, hate him. Hope to get him fired soon. But we grew up together. We know each other. I think I know Josh more than any other person. Him likewise with me, sadly. But we always had the same
sort
ideas.
of been through thick and thin, haven't we?
Unfortunately, yeah, you're thick and I'm thin. Um, and yeah, I mean, we always had the same music taste. I mean, from because I went to college to learn music, and Josh was in the same college, literally the door opposite me, doing media, and from there we were doing little things with other bands there, and Josh started playing bass when I started playing guitar. We just had this idea a couple of years ago. We was like, you know what, man, we should start a band because we knew each other so well. We thought, what's the worst that can happen with the idea that because we're so on point with if we have an idea, like if I have an idea for a song, Josh already is on it because we know each other's writing styles, we know each other's thought process. So it's really lucky that we work together in the band because it's on point how quick we work together.
Yeah, and Jordan are going to
Who?
the same college. Yeah, wait, who? Yeah, so Jordan going to the same college as
Hmm.
us, and he was also in the same building a few doors down and doing photography, and we sort of knew him through mutual friends and sort of other bands we've sort of played with him before. So we just kind of said to him, "Oh, do you want to come along to a rehearsal session and just kind of see how things go?" And I feel like both of us sort of knew from, or I say both of us, all three of us even really knew from that session that we wanted to kind of take it somewhere because we just had this like connection, I
Yeah, it
guess.
was like instantaneous as soon as we started playing. Because I remember me and Jordan started playing. We were in messing around for another band that we were in, and we were just whilst they were setting up the recording studio, me and him were jamming Zeppelin, and that went on for like half an hour. Just us playing an immigrant song over and over and over again, or like Good Times, Bad Times, and we was playing and playing and playing. I was like, we need to get Josh in this, man. So we did, and the first rehearsal there, we kept the fact that um, we were playing quite low down because we didn't want it to go bad. If anything went bad, but we
Yeah,
after the first
sure.
rehearsal, we got out. We were like walking down the back of the road. It was quite dark. We were just walking. We just went, damn man, this is something. This is really something.
We've got something here. Let's
Yeah,
work on
yeah.
it. Let's put it together.
it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's really cool to hear. I feel like when you have that kind of connection with band members instantaneously, sometimes it takes some time to grow, but then other times you can have that connection and it's just like a spark. You just
Yeah,
know instantly, we're gonna make music together, we're gonna thrive, we're gonna be something. And that's
yeah.
something that's so cool to have from the start. So, a little bit of background for our listeners. I've known Bryn as well for a while. We've been internet friends for a couple years. We actually met through Greta Van Fleet. We
Oh
both are
yeah.
huge Greta Van Fleet fans, and that is essentially what brought us together, which is so awesome. I love that in this day and age we're literally on different continents, but music and a band brought us together, and that's also at the core and the heart of what Bandit is all about. So, again, I'm just so thrilled to have you guys here.
Yeah, it's
um
sick.
yeah, so now that I've heard more about like your history and where you guys came from, I'm curious about your band name. So what made you decide on Achilles Heel, and were there contenders for the band name before you finally settled
Um,
on this one?
we thought
Well,
of a couple.
I'm pretty
Wait,
sure.
Josh, let me just say
No,
here,
no, no.
we thought of a
Ca-
couple names before this. Like I remember saying to you, "What about Crowned Kings?" You're like,
And I was like,
"Brilliant."
that's actually the worst name I've ever
Yeah,
heard. But I'm pretty sure Achilles Heel, like one of us, we were drunk at a bus stop,
yeah.
um, and one of us sort of said,
It was you,
"Oh,
said it.
was it me? Oh, I
Yeah,
quite." We were drunk at a bus stop, so I don't really remember which one of us it was. We sort of said, "Oh, what about Achilles Heel?" And then we were both like, "Oh yeah, that'd be sounds pretty cool." And then Jordan was kind of like, "Oh yeah, that sounds pretty cool." And then yeah, that's
yeah.
sort of
I remember better than you here because I remember we got back from the pub and we were completely plastered, and you, you had to go home. We were sitting on the bench. We were thinking because this was like about a week or two before we had our first rehearsal.
Mhm.
Um, and I remember it was freezing cold. We were sitting there, we were going like, man, what can we think of a band name? Because it's that thing, when you're a kid, you always think of cool band names.
I
Um,
know, right?
yeah, it's that thing you do. So when we were doing it, we actually tried to take it seriously and stuff. And Josh was like,
well as serious
as
as
serious as
we
we could, yeah,
could be.
whilst completely drunk. But Josh said, well, what about Achilles Heel? I went, haha. And then we just turned to each other and went, ooh.
It's
But
like
I
you
think,
laugh at first, and then you're like, "Wait a sec,
yeah, no, but I
that could
think
be good."
it means something to us as well because in my eyes, it's that thing where you can be as strong as you want, but there's always some weakness. Like for us, it's a lot of our weaknesses is like mental health
Yeah.
or just struggles with who we are,
Mhm.
which comes across a lot in our music. So we think it's a fit name, to be honest.
For sure. I love that I've heard this story now because it makes me feel like closer to you guys as a band and like where you've come from. Because like that's one of the questions I've had for a while. I quite literally remember. I think this was the beginning of this year or the beginning of last year. I can't remember when your first EP Secrets came out, but Bryn, you had sent me an MP3 file of your one of your first singles, PTSD,
Oh yeah, I
and
remember that.
this was before. I didn't know that you were taking voice lessons or teaching yourself. Are you self-taught vocally?
I I don't think myself as a good vocalist, so I need lessons. So I took lessons like November last year,
Mhm.
for a couple of months before COVID, um, the old C word, and I'm now that I'm at university studying music, I'm gonna get more lessons for that now. But no, most of the time it's self-taught. And I'm just messing around. I'm just
Yeah,
doing
I
what I
remember you sending me that like music file for your song and telling me you had this project you're working on, and I didn't know you'd been studying voice and practicing it. And so then you sent me this like 99% finished piece of original music that you put together with your mates, and I'm like, okay, okay. And then I saw like your band name, and I was like, well, what does that mean? So that's really cool to have that question
I
answered,
mean, I
that
could
little bit
point
of
you to the direct bus stop if you want. You can get directions, get a plane ticket.
closure.
There'll be a blue plaque there one
um,
day.
I'm pretty sure we were sat on the
yeah.
middle bench as well. If you
It
want
was. It was
to,
before there was the one
yeah,
with the glass. There was one on the right. There was one in the middle. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, we can paint a picture for you.
So
Take pictures for you.
yeah, so when it comes to your music, after listening more and more to you guys and like your recent releases and everything, I hear a lot of royal blood and Green Day in your
Yeah.
music. Tell me more. Tell me more about your influences and like who you kind of try to emulate. I know that you guys, of course, you have your own sound, but I think every
Hmm.
musician is influenced by somebody. I mean, all the millions of people or thousands who try to say that Greta Van Fleet sounds just like Led Zeppelin or just
Yeah.
other bands like that. So since everybody's influenced by somebody, tell me more about who you guys are influenced by.
I'll let you go there first, Josh. To be honest.
Oh, put me on the spotlight here, mate. No, I think, I mean, one of our main influences is Royal Blood, I think.
I hear a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, we've both been fans for like years,
Yeah, we went to go see him live last year. No, great.
Yeah, and they were excellent. Um, but yeah, I mean, for me personally, Green Day is a big influence. They're who sort of influenced me to start playing music in the first place.
That's awesome.
And I think a lot of the vocals that I write for our songs are sort of they're quite Green Day-esque when you say Green, like they're not. They sort of don't really take themselves too seriously in terms of like my songs.
Yeah, we've had a lot of. I literally went through. I spent 2 hours today because I have like 500 videos on my phone of just ideas. And I went through them today for 2 hours trying to find different videos. Ended up with 86 videos of just ideas, and a lot of them are Josh's lyrics. And I'm thinking, we can't put this out there.
A little bit too bold.
Yeah.
So, your two newest songs, Electric Soldiers and Talking To, are full of, I'm sorry, I'm reading questions from a thing here.
That's fine.
Sick guitar riffs, fun vocals, and overall just a rockin' sound. Can you elaborate on the stories of these songs and how they came together?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, a lot of the songs recently, because before with the EP, it was just trying to write cool songs and not really caring. I mean, obviously we had some ideas behind the songs, but with the recent single releases, there's definitely more stories behind them. So, like, Everlasting's got a very sort of sense about dark love. Talking To is a really fun one because that's just about people. Because I've always had the sort of sense that people don't get what I'm trying to do, so it's actually more of like a middle finger song, just saying, listen who you're talking to here.
Love it.
Yeah, I feel like God Complex, which is the second one. that was sort of more of a hate song. A dig at some an individual, but it also works like for it's just a song about someone who was just very big-headed, and people who are very like egotistical and think they're better than everyone else just really irritate me. So that's sort of where a lot of the emotion for that song came from.
Right.
Yeah, so a lot of it is personal, but there's also ones like Electric Soldiers. That is a song about, because I'm a massive nerd a lot of the time. So that song is about the use of AI in warfare.
Nice.
So it's a mix of things between like real life experiences or
and then
stories.
More like concept songs.
Concept songs, yeah. I mean, a lot of our music is about how we feel. Like there's a song that's coming out in January, which is the last single of the monthly release thing, which is very personal to me and Josh. It's a song about our struggles with mental health and stuff. And we were just recording a music video for it yesterday. Was it yesterday, Josh?
Yeah.
And there's some dark scenes in it because we want to truly get across how we feel for that. So a lot of it is very dark, and we feel like we are going down a dark route with our style and stuff. I mean, even with the influences, we used to listen to a lot of like Royal Blood, we still do, and Green Day and stuff. But there's also things with like Queens of the Stone Age, Gary Newman, a lot of Muse, a lot of Muse.
I was gonna say I heard some Muse in it too.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's a really cool kind of path to take, because when you said your newer stuff that's coming out and the one you just filmed a video for, first of all, super excited to see that. Second of all, it does remind me of kind of the path that Greta Van Fleet is taking also with their new album, and how it's kind of got a darker tone to it, especially the single Age of Machine got a really dark tone to it.
Cool.
It's so cool. I listened and I was like, dang. But I think that's so cool because I listen to your songs and I feel like a distinct energy from different ones. There's some that are like, wow, this is a big FU song, or this is a love song, or this is a confidence song. And I think too that using your platform as a band, whether you're huge or still up and coming, I think is so huge to do when you're talking about things like mental health or racism or just problems going on in the world. I feel like those are all huge things, and music is such a huge form of expression for so many of us. I mean, as a singer myself, I think about how deeply I connect to songs and things like that, especially songs that are about mental health. So I'm really excited to see this one too, because I feel like I'm really going to empathize and connect with it.
It's a lot of fun to play as well. It's a pretty fat sound to it.
And I feel like too, you gotta be daring and you gotta be bold, because that's how you can be remembered. You know, if you have something in your video that's got people talking, then they're talking about you. and you're gaining that publicity. And I don't want to think of like, oh, there's good press or bad press, but I think it's always good to take it in a bold and daring direction. So
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
really
we don't really care if we upset people, get the wrong crowd a lot of time, because we want to get our message across, and we want to, because our music is, as well as just being like a business to us, because we do take it really seriously, but it's also a way to let out our emotions. So to get the chance to speak a voice which normally we wouldn't get to speak in a sense of the mental health songs, or a massive FU to someone, or like a breakup song, like Josh, do you want to tell the story about White Margin Stargazer?
No, not particularly.
Not particularly.
It's a little bit NSFW.
No, we'll tell you off camera because it's a bit funny, but yeah, that's a special one. But like we've always had a sense of being able to speak our voice, and our songs, they are a message to us. They are a way to get out our voice, and also just to, like, especially with the mental health, it's the ways that we can show people that it's okay not to be okay.
Perfect. I love that. That's a message I've been telling myself for so long. So I really love that you guys are doing that with your music. So I'm curious, this year, it's been tumultuous and difficult for musicians and performers and just any artists in general. I mean, that goes without saying, of course. So I'm curious, how have your scheduled gigs and studio sessions and any other band related events been affected by this pandemic and the lockdown over there in the UK?
It's been pretty bad, because we only got together as a band pretty much this time last year. It's just been over a year that Achilles Heel got together, and we released our first EP in February of this year. And like a couple of weeks after that, we started doing gigs. We did some nice gigs. We had our first gig was at this tiny Mexican tequila bar, and that was really fun. And then the very next gig was at a pretty big stage at the O2 Academy in Islington. That was so much fun. And then right after that, lockdown. So we got put down.
I'm pretty sure we were like one of the last.
Only two gigs and
yeah.
2 gigs.
Wow. Yeah, we were the last people to play at some of those venues, and but we as soon as lockdown happened, obviously we couldn't see each other, so we just spent the time writing, and sort of perfecting what sound we want. So I mean, you can hear in the singles there's a lot of different sounds. I mean, there's Talking To, this sort of this really bluesy hard rock sound. Everlasting is apocalyptic sort of thing. That's because we're just bringing in loads of influences. But over the over sort of spring, early summer, we just spent writing, and then finally when we were allowed to see each other again, we immediately went back into rehearsals. We were rehearsing and writing, and then was it in July we recorded? July, August?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
July.
yeah, it was.
And then we went back to the place that we recorded our EP at, Blaze Studios in Case-on-Sea. Pretty local from here, really nice bloke recorded for us. And we had this idea that because we knew, I mean, obviously we didn't want it to happen, but we knew lockdown was going to continue happening. This is going to continue for the rest of the year. So we decided that we know after lockdown happens, everyone's going to go back and release their albums and release their singles and do this and do that. We didn't want to be that. We didn't want to be every other band. So we thought, how can we be original but also supply entertainment at the same time? So we came up with this idea of doing a monthly release plan. So from September till January of 2021, we release a single on the first of every month. So that way people always have something to look forward to. They know when it's going to come out. There's always something new. And it's you notice, like I just said, the singles are different each time. So it's not just expected. It's something different each time. And so we recorded it in July, and as soon as we had the singles ready, I mean, I want to release them all at once because they sound so cool. But it's this really fun feeling that we can get out. It's something to look forward to, and it's unique. And it's our own voice. I mean, not a lot is happening for music during lockdown. We can't do gigs. The most what we can really do is release music and do stuff on social media, and work amongst ourselves as well, and like doing business and stuff. But this we felt like was a really original thing to do, really creative, but also just it's a fun way to entertain people because our music is how we speak. And for a lot of people right now, they can't go in studios or they can't rehearse, they can't do gigs like they normally would. So it was our way of sort of screaming, in a way, just help. Or just
That's awesome.
anything. So I felt like it was a cool thing to do during it, and after lockdown has ended, luckily it's cooling down a bit here now with the vaccine and stuff. So as soon as we can, we're getting back and gigging. We got big plans for next year. So
Yeah. That kind of reminds me a little bit of also the Struts, another
mm,
amazing UK band. They recorded their album Strange Days. They released in October, which is such a fitting album title for this year. Let's just wow. But they recorded that in 10 days during lockdown in the UK, and they just made that happen. So that kind of reminds me of what you guys are doing here. And I do love that formula of the monthly single release because it's like the first of a new month. I feel like every month has its own energy. And so
yeah,
then you
absolutely.
release different singles that all have their own story and concept to them. And they all took different paths. And then you release one on the first of every month. And it's got its own kind of story to tell. So that's really exciting too. I definitely have been eating all these singles up. I look on the
Good to
social
hear.
media and there's this one I'm like, oh dang, I almost forgot. And then I go stream it.
Yeah,
So I definitely feel that. I feel like lockdown over here in the U.S. has been a lot different, but it's up to all of us to just do what we can, especially us musicians, and we can't gig right now. I was able to have a safe distance performance with a band in August, which was huge. We had Zoom rehearsals for a
lucky.
while. It wasn't the best, but we adapted. We made it work. And so that's just all that we can do right now. And the fact that you're releasing music and that you don't want to be like everybody else is also something that makes you guys memorable. So I'm really excited to hear that. And the next question I have for you, I have a few more questions here. So this one's kind of a little bit of a fun one, but if you could only listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Oh Jesus.
Put you on the spot here. Maybe
Josh,
Josh
you want
can
to go
answer first.
first? Yeah, you go first, mate.
Um, that
Oh,
is a tricky one. I think it would probably have to be an album called Endgame by Rise Against. I don't know if you know it, but I absolutely love that album, and it sort of deals with some issues that hit not only hit close to home with me, but I also care very much about. And it's just a banger album, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Brim?
okay, I got two because I can't pick one.
You need to pick one, damn
Did you
it.
Okay,
not
so
listen to the question?
I'm
You
sorry. It's either American Idiot, obviously. Oh my god, what an album! I mean, just the concept of it as a story, but that or Muse live at Olympic Stadium. I
Interesting. A live
I
album.
Oh,
I
that's
love
a
live
good choice.
albums so much that I prefer them over studio albums most of the time because I get the energy from it.
Interesting.
But
Yeah.
that's such a good album. Such a good album. I'll probably have to go with
I I I have to admit I have not heard that album. I need to listen to it because
check
I do
it.
love Muse. But I can definitely agree with American Idiot, and I haven't heard that Rise Against album. I should check that one out. But I have heard American Idiot, and that's definitely would be on my list too. If there was like a top 5, you could only listen to these albums. That would be one of mine. Mine would have to be Peaceful Army by Greta Van Fleet and
Oh,
Peaceful Army, but we been
I
knew
know.
that one,
I preferred
of
the
course. And this
EP.
isn't about me. This is about you.
I preferred the EP to be honest. I like it because it
That's
was a darker sound.
Yeah, that's completely valid. I feel like every era has been a little bit different, so that's definitely understandable. A few more questions for you guys here. So, thinking back to before 2020 when we still had concerts, and the only two gigs that so now that I've heard you guys only have two gigs, this kind of reframes my question a little bit. But I'm wondering, in those two gigs that you had, do you have any memorable or funny stories you can share of any little anecdotes or things that happened that are funny or
Josh,
whatever?
do you remember
I
the end
think
of the
in
first
terms,
gig?
well,
Do you remember what
which
happened to
part?
me at the end of
The
the gig when we
sigh.
finished? We
Vaguely, yeah.
okay. First of all, first gig we ever did, it was really cramped. It was a tiny spot. The amount of times I whacked my guitar into Josh's face.
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure, I actually had a bruise on my jaw the
You
next
did,
day.
you
Oh,
genuinely did. But I remember
I
because I
mean,
was,
Jordan's usually the one that we hit, so
yeah, he deserves
he's the
it.
punching bag.
He's not here, so he's gonna get it when he comes back on. So
Oh no,
yeah, but
it'll
I
be
remember
very much
at the end of the first gig, I was because we finished on PTSD, and that's a really energetic song.
yeah.
And I remember we finished it. We put the guitars down. We're like, yeah, we were Achilles Heel. Good night. Thank you very much. Put it down, just quickly, because we were the support. We quickly just changed some stuff. I went down to this tiny bathroom downstairs. I remember I was so filled with adrenaline, I just threw up everywhere. I was like,
I,
what the?
I'm pretty sure I came down and like I was like, "You okay, bud?" And you were like, "Yeah, fine." I was like, "All right," and I'm pretty sure I
Just
just left, didn't I?
What a good friend.
Well, he said he was all right, so you know.
Yeah, you need to understand, me and
I
Josh,
mean,
we know each other for
the
that.
thing is, like, the amount of times I've had to, you know, hold Bryn's hair back, you know, both literally and metaphorically. I was like, you know what, he can deal with it. He's fine. He's all right.
Yeah, we get pretty wild.
That is
But I
wild.
think just another memorable thing was the same gig actually, like playing. Was it? I think it was Secrets. And there was a
Yeah.
couple of people in the crowd like singing along, and it was just really,
Yeah,
even though
it
it
was
was
the
our first
first
gig, like
week of release.
they were singing along to it, and it was just one of those feelings where you know we were like, that's actually so cool. Like,
Yeah.
and it just kind of stuck with me. you
Oh
know.
yeah.
It was
Oh
it was
yeah.
pretty
Absolutely.
overwhelming.
I can relate to that adrenaline story too. As a performer myself, I feel that same thing, and I miss that rush of being on stage and performing, and hoping that when concerts come back, I can feel that again because it's been
Yeah.
forever.
Because I
It feels like
I
it's
miss it. I miss it so because I always get the pre-stage anxiety, but as soon as I'm on stage, I play the first note. I feel like a king. I miss it
yes,
so much.
yes. That's how I feel too. I definitely get that. So then when it comes to writing songs, I'm curious, Josh was saying something about his ideas for songs, and you were saying about all the ideas you have on your phone for songs. So I'm curious as to, like, out of you and Josh and Jordan as well, who's the primary songwriter for the band? And then how do you guys like come together and share ideas?
Well, Bryn is like sort of the primary one, but most of the time, like Bryn will have an idea for a song, and he'll kind of bring it to rehearsals, and well, you know, when we did rehearsals back in the good old days, and then me and Jordan will kind of go, okay, that's, you know, but how about we try changing this slightly, you know, and same thing, like, you know, me or Jordan will come to Bryn or come to the other two with like, you know, half finished song, and then we'll just kind of build on it. But Bryn usually comes to us with a song that is you know playable completely, and then we'll change parts of it to kind of fit our own styles.
Yeah, it's a good mix, and it's good as well because me, Josh, and Jordan were so close as mates. I mean, me and Josh obviously, but also Jordan is one of my best mates. We're not afraid to tell each other if something's bad or like
Oh yeah.
if something's in the studio and I'm thinking like, yeah, I really like this. Is cool. Josh would just say to me, mate, it sounds horrendous, and it'll just like put me in my place. And the same I'll do with Josh. I'll be like, I'll be honest, mate, that doesn't sound good.
I feel like I'm a lot blunter than you are.
Yeah, no, yeah, you are. He bullies me.
Oh yes, I do. Yeah, but you deserve it, so it's okay.
I do.
Oh my god.
It's
I feel like
justified.
when you have a tight knit band, it's so important to be able to be honest with each other like that. Because if somebody has an idea, they can be hyping it up so much, and you're like, you know, I'm really not feeling that, but how about this?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go and have a song, and then one person is just absolutely loving it and vibing on it. The others are like, man, this is I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like when we like if Bryn came to me with a song idea and I didn't like part of it, we're kind of quite good in the fact that we don't just say, oh, that, you know, that's not very good. We kind of go, well, that's not great, but how about we try this instead? So instead of just kind of taking it out, or just try an alternative and just build upon it rather than just scrapping it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you can come up with a compromise you all love.
Yeah, and I mean, we all have our own, like, as well as the fact that obviously we write all together, but we also have our own personal songs. So maybe a song is more sided towards me or towards Josh or Jordan. It's like,
so I know,
Josh,
for like, for example, God Complex was, you know, the majority of that song was sort of done by me, really, wasn't it? Like, and then I sort of brought the ideas to you guys. Whereas then Everlasting was primarily you and me and Jordan.
I even wrote your bass lines for that song because I wanted it to be perfect. Yeah, and then Jordan, like he's done a lot of stuff. I mean, for the EP, he wrote a lot of stuff for that, and then for the singles, obviously because of lockdown, it's a bit harder for drummers to write. So, but a lot of we all have our own, like, I would say favorite song, but we all have our song where we feel is our peak.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like for example, for me, my favorite in terms of my bass sound is running from the one coming out in January, purely, well, when you hear it, you'll probably understand why. But I absolutely love the tone in that, and the tone of the instruments, and the tone of the song as well. You know, it's
it's a pretty brutal one.
That's awesome. That makes me even more excited to hear it now that I know that little tip about it. That's awesome. So then I'm wondering also another little like kind of fun little frivolous kind of question. You guys talked about your influences and also this one kind of alludes back to that, but feel free to just go wherever you want with it. So I'm wondering if you guys could collaborate with any artist, if they were living or dead, who would it be and then why?
I'd probably
I mean,
go. Oh no, you go first, mate.
mine would have to be Green Day, just because they are my all-time favorite band, and I just
Yes.
love them. You know,
I feel like if there was an Achilles Heel X Green Day single or EP, that would be just fire.
I could die happy.
I'd probably go Queen's Stone Age because I love Josh Homme. He's probably one of the biggest influences on me at the moment. I feel like we can just chill and have a smoke and play some music. That'd be pretty fun.
Yes, it's so cool when you can find musicians that you vibe with like that. So if you guys somehow by the powers of the universe ever got to get together and have some kind of collab, that would be fantastic.
Depends how big this interview gets. if you can push this interview far enough.
We'll see what we can do. Wink, wink. But yeah, I feel like that would be so cool too, because I hear a lot of them in your music as well, and probably in your upcoming songs too. So that would be super exciting. So then we've been talking for a while, and now I have one more question for you guys before I let you go. Sorry, before I let you go. And I think that we're all hoping that 2021 will be a much better year for musicians and just everybody in general. I think that goes without saying, but especially for live music. So I'm curious as to what you guys are looking forward to in the new year when it comes to hopefully not canceled live shows and releasing new music. Can you divulge any details regarding upcoming material?
Yeah, we got some big ideas. I mean, obviously gigs are a big thing that we're looking forward to again. That's going to be the main focus. We want to gig a lot next year.
I think, and mainly for us, really. I think, like we just want to play again, like with each other. You know, like it's been. I mean, it's literally been like 9 months since we last played a gig with each other.
Yeah,
and you know, it's been like, when was the last time we rehearsed? Like, I think August, was it? Or September?
No, it was October.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, feels like months ago.
It was.
But oh yeah.
Time isn't even real right now. Let's be real.
I don't know what day it is.
Yeah, to be fair. But yeah, it's just kind of playing again with each other, and just just being able to spend the time on stage and kind of playing new material, and
Yeah, I mean, gigs. We had a talk yesterday, on our lunch break whilst recording a music video yesterday about what we're doing next year, and we think the sort of the main pulse for next year will be we're probably going to release another EP around summertime. So hopefully around that, and then just so gigging, a lot of gigging. Really want gigging, and probably the EP, but we're definitely going to go down a more, probably, I'm thinking darker and heavier route for what we're going for next.
I'm excited to hear that. I like music that can sound a little bit sludgy at times, but can also be a little bit light. And I think you guys are one of those versatile bands that can just go anywhere with their ideas and their songs. So I'm excited to hear that. And I'm super stoked to hear, you said it was Running From, that's the next single to come out?
Yeah.
And you said that would be January 1st?
That's the one.
It is indeed.
You heard it here first, folks. January 1st, you got to go stream
see the new year in with
by Achilles Heel. Oh, yeah. That's a perfect day to release a song, actually. I mean, it's going to be a Friday. It's going to be the first day of the new year. That's exciting. That's going to be an amazing way to ring in the new year. Are you going to drop it at midnight or?
At midnight, yeah. So it'll be midnight. I think it's midnight in our time. No, it's midnight for every place time. So if it's midnight for you, it'll be midnight release then. If it's midnight for us, then it'll be midnight release for us, sort of thing.
Awesome. So yeah, ringing in the the new year with some new tunes by Achilles Heel. That's gonna be awesome. And then that EP for summertime, that's awesome too. Well, yeah, I mean, that's all the questions I had for you guys today. I'm so thrilled I got to sit down and chat with you guys. And Jordan, we miss you. We hope you can join us again another time. I actually have one more kind of a half question.
Hmm.
That just this is a little quick one. When you guys and Jordan, when you guys are able to get together and you guys are talking about gigging, I'm wondering if you guys would be interested in doing a live stream concert for Bandit at some point, whether you're
We
together.
we were actually talking about last time we had rehearsals. Like we were actually talking about doing a live stream concert. You know, if it's sort of
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want us, we'll do
doable
it.
for us, you know.
We would love to have you. You know, whether you guys can get together in person or you're on separate ends of the internet, you know, that's totally fine with us. We can make it work, and I can talk to you, Bryn, some more about this off camera. But I'm thrilled to know you guys are down. You know, we kind of want to do some of those upcoming for like Christmas time and whatnot, like a 12 days of live streams or something. So
Yeah,
we'll get to talking about that. That'll be
yeah.
super awesome. I'm super psyched.
No,
Well,
we'll be bound to do it.
guys, thank you guys so much for taking this time to sit down with me. I'm really excited. If you want to take a moment to plug your socials and your music, feel free to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, sure. So remember, every month for the next month, we're releasing a new single. If you want to check us out on Spotify, it's Achilles Heel. If you want to check us on Facebook, it's at Achilles Heel Band, and then on Instagram, it's Achilles_Heel_band.
We have a Twitter as well, by the way, Bryn. Just don't.
Yeah, we started using Twitter again today. It's AH_music band or something.
I don't know. I didn't make it.
I don't know.
Forgot.
Social be somewhere.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys again so much for sitting down with me.
Thanks for having us.
I hope you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm so thrilled that we got to have this chat. Thank you guys so much for sitting down with me and chatting for a while. Achilles Heel, everybody, 2/3 of Achilles Heel. You can check them out on all your social media. And this really excited to have talked to you guys today. So
if you want to go on social media and bully Jordan, do it.
Yeah.
No. He loves it. Really,
yeah, he does love it.
We love Jordan. He's an awesome dude.
We do
right,
love
guys.
Jordan.
I'm Evie from Banded, and this is Bryn and Josh, 2/3 of Achilles Heel. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having us. See you later.
All right. Thanks, guys.